Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Business Connect. If this is your first time on our channel, if you're watching us for the first time here on Business Connect, we do videos about China, we do videos about life in China, and we do videos about business in China and how to understand Chinese people. I've done several videos on this topic, so if this is your first time, you want to check out our videos, and if you like them, you like to subscribe to our channel so that each time we do videos like this, YouTube will notify you and you'll be the first to watch our videos. So today we'll be talking about a concept that is pretty common in China, face. But what is face and what are the different situations where the Chinese people bring the concept of face into play? Welcome back. But before we get into the details of face in China and the different situations where face can be displayed or where face can come into play, let's look at a general understanding of the word face. So face is a sociological term that describes the phenomenon which exists not only in China but in every human society, and we should therefore first understand the general ideal of face before we go into the characteristics that makes their face unique in China. Face is a fundamental part of human interaction, and it's a way which presents ourselves to others. It determines how we judge others and how we want others to perceive or understand us. Face is a fundamental part of human interaction. It is the way we present ourselves to others. It is the way we want others to see us. It determines how we are judged and how we want to be perceived by others. One of China's most influential writers once described face as the guiding principle of the Chinese mind. You know, the concept of face is a very important concept in China. And if you really want to understand Chinese people, if you want to interact with Chinese people, if you want to do business with Chinese people, or if you just want to understand who Chinese people are, then you must understand the concept of face. So to get a better understanding on what face is, we're going to look at it in two components. The internal component, which is yourself, your ego, and the external component, which is the society, the moral standards of any given community, the rules, and generally like the social hierarchy and the rules and conduct of every given social environment. Okay, so now that you understand the general concept of face, now let's get into the Chinese concept of it. Like, how can a Chinese person either gain face or lose face? But before that, you should also understand that in life, no one wants to lose face. Everyone wants to gain face. But in the Chinese society, in the Chinese concept of it, the aspect of losing face, Chinese people take it so seriously. They don't want to lose face in no matter what situation. So they will always want to gain face. But I'll just evaluate a few situations and let's see how the issue of gaining face or losing face works in China. Okay, so one of the first situations where the issue of face comes into play in China is when it concerns marriage. And this greatly affects parents. You know, parents always think that if at a certain age their children are not married, then they are losing face in the community. So the parents will always do everything possible, even go to the extent of looking for spouses for the children, just to maintain or gain face, because they feel that if other parents' children are married in the community or in the society or in the neighborhood and just their children are not married, then they are losing face, and they do everything possible to gain face by making their children married. Okay, now let's look at face in another situation, in the situation of love. Maybe husband and wife, or maybe boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, the males or the husband will always want to be looked upon as the breadwinners of the family. So if your wife maybe has more income than you, or has a higher salary than you, or has more money than you, or is wealthier than you, the males always think they're losing face because maybe there are situations in the family that it's the woman that has to maybe provide the money. They don't want that to ever happen. Okay, so from my experience, another situation where the issue of face comes into place in China is in education. Normally, Chinese people feel that if you're able to send your children to private schools, then you're gaining face. And people who send their children maybe to public schools, they feel like they're underrated in the society, or maybe the less privileged and so on. So they think those whose children are able to go to public schools are losing face compared to those whose children are going to private schools. So in this situation, in order to gain face, some parents will go to the extremes just to send their children to private schools in order to gain face, because they believe that if their children are able to go to private schools, it means that they are wealthy and they are able to afford, why those whose parents or whose children are not able to go to private schools, they think they are losing face. Also, being able to buy a car, buy an apartment, or gain property is also a way of gaining face. That's why a lot of young people are not able to get spouses nowadays, because they don't want to get married to those who don't have cars, those who don't have houses, those who don't have property, because they feel that if they get married to someone who don't have this property, they are losing face. Another situation that to me is really funny is that as a foreigner, never think of engaging into an argument with a Chinese person and winning the argument. Because to them, if they argue with a foreigner and he wins the argument, or if they're in a case with a foreigner and he wins the case, they lose face. So a Chinese person will do everything possible to win an argument, to win a case with you, just to gain face. Even if he's on the wrong, even if he's in the right, you'll do everything possible to win the argument, to win the case, just to gain face. So generally speaking, the issue of face is not only in China, it's a societal thing that affects every society. Everyone wants to maintain some standard in the society. Everyone wants to be looked upon as superior in the society. Everyone wants to maintain a certain image in the society. But I just decided to do this video because I realized that in China it's a thing. Like, they're taking it so seriously. So I've shared just a few of the situations. If you have more situations that you would like to share with us, let me know in the comment